When the music collides with the law, the fallout can send careers into a tailspin.
He needed to be in the ground. I put his ass where he supposed to be.
Today, we're diving deep into rap's most notorious jail stints, from probation slip-ups that galvanized reform movements
You had one beat that really spearheaded this whole movement.
to decades-long sentences still unfolding in real time. Strap in. Meek Mill served 171 days for a probation breach. A tussle at St. Louis Airport and a reckless bike riding charge in New York were enough for a Philadelphia judge to hammer Meek with 2 to 4 years for violating the decade-old probation tied to a 2009 gun and drug case. Furious backlash from fans and industry heavyweights got him out in 5 months, and in 2019 helped launch the Reform Alliance with Jay-Z, Michael Rubin, and many more, an organization aimed at overhauling parole and probation.
I always wondered what happened to the people that was in situations worse than mine.
DMX also served 214 days for a probation breach. One of many trips behind bars for the late, great Earl Simmons. This stint came after an Arizona drug-related probation violation, adding yet another chapter to his legal roller coaster.
Mention of my Savior's name, in the name of Jesus, devil I rebuke.
Tupac served 239 days for sexual assault conviction. Tupac Shakur was actually cleared of the majority of the charges in this case, in which a woman claimed she was raped by him and a number of other men in a hotel room in 1993. However, he was sentenced to 1.5 years in prison for unwanted touching of the buttocks, the only charge that stuck.
We outsold them in 1 year.
Lil Wayne served 241 days for attempted criminal weapon possession. The New York cops found a handgun on Wheezy's tour bus in 2007. He pled guilty 2 years later and did 8 months on Rikers Island. Cassidy served 258 days for involuntary manslaughter.
I did get hit with a charge, aggravated assault.
After initially facing a murder rap in the 2005 killing of one man and the attempted murders of 2 others, Cassidy waived his right to trial by jury and submitted himself to the mercy of the judge, who declined to convict him of first-degree murder. Lil Kim served 287 days for perjury and conspiracy. Kim's downfall wasn't the 2001 Hot 97 radio station shooting. It was lying about it. Security footage disproved her testimony, sending her to federal prison for nearly 10 months and forever reshaping her image.
The shade, I love it.
T.I. served 304 days for federal weapon charges.
I had lost sight of what was important. I had lost sight of, the faith that I had in God and how.
Federal agents busted T.I. in 2007 after his bodyguard purchased machine guns and silencers for him. A carefully negotiated plea shaved 9 years off a potential decade-long bid. Tory Lanez has served 2 years so far for an assault with a semi-automatic firearm and related gun charges. The July 2020 SUV argument that left Megan Thee Stallion shot in the back of her feet landed Tory an 8-year prison term on August 8, 2023. He maintains his innocence while appeals unfold. Young Buck served 414 days for weapon possession by a convicted felon. A 2010 Nashville raid uncovered a Glock 22 and piled onto Buck's prior Vibe Awards stabbing conviction in 2004, earning him an 18-month stretch he served in full.
Back to the ankle monitor, but I'm free.
JT of City Girls served 466 days for felony identity theft. JT was sentenced to 2 years in prison for scamming. She apparently used the credit cards of 3 different people between 2016 and 2017 and spent more than $1,000 of the stolen money. After her attorney in court name-dropped Drake and other artists who co-signed JT, she was able to finish the City Girls' debut album promo before turning herself in. JT spent the latter half of her sentence at a halfway house.
When I got out, I literally went to the halfway house for a couple months. I always tell this story.
6ix9ine served 501 days for federal racketeering and firearms charges. 6ix9ine was arrested for RICO and firearms charges in late 2018 as a result of his affiliation and actions alongside the 9 Trey gangster Bloods. The rapper accepted a plea deal that would lower his time in exchange for testifying against members of the gang. For his cooperation, 6ix9ine was sentenced to 2 years in prison and 5 years of supervised release, including the time he had already served. Once the COVID-19 pandemic sparked up, 6ix9ine was released on house arrest due to the health concerns surrounding his asthma. He was ultimately free on supervised release in 2020. Tony Yayo served 508 days for weapons possession and forged passport. Just as G-Unit was about to blow, Tony Yayo went into the can in 2002 after cops found a gun in a car with 50 Cent, Lloyd Banks, and Yayo. The other two got off scot-free, but Yayo got busted on an old warrant and picked up a year in jail. But the very day he made parole, Yayo handed in a fake passport to his officer and went straight back in. Icewear Vezzo served 552 days for gun possession by a felon. In 2015, police pulled up on Icewear Vezzo and his associates at a gas station in Detroit, searched Vezzo, spotted him passing off a Glock. As a former felon, he was prohibited from carrying a firearm, and this ultimately gave him 20 months. Kodak Black served 611 days for state and federal weapons charges. Kodak Black was arrested ahead of a Rolling Loud performance in May of 2019. He later confessed that he lied on background checks while buying guns on 2 different instances. Both guns were later discovered at crime scenes, with one having Black's fingerprints on it in an incident where it was allegedly used to fire at another artist. A 4-year term ended early when President Donald Trump issued a 2021 pardon. J. Rule served 699 days for attempted possession of a weapon and tax evasion.
It's tough, but
yeah, that shit happened it was the same night, like the same show, same night. So I don't know, like, I mean,
arrested the same 2007 night as Lil Wayne, Jay's priors brought 2 years. Tax charges tacked on 28 months, but ran concurrently with his gun charges.
doing things behind the scenes as well.
Lil Baby served 730 days for probation violation. Multiple weed busts and a racially charged jail fight finally sent Baby away for 2 straight years.
I got into a fight, you know what I'm saying? And that sent me back.
Okay, you got into a fight with a white dude.
Exactly.
Upon his release, Lil Baby launched his rap career.
I want to be a superhero dad, like, but my kid feels like everything I do is just nothing wrong.
Beanie Sigel served 732 days for tax evasion and illegal possession of prescription drugs. Beanie Sigel was charged with 3 counts of failing to file tax returns on income of over $1 million, which triggered 25 months in prison. In August of 2012, 2 weeks before he had to turn himself in to begin the bid, Sigel was arrested on drug, weapons, and conspiracy charges after being pulled over by police. He began to serve time for his failure to file tax returns in the following month and was hit with an additional 6 to 23 months in county jail for illegal possession of prescription drugs. The time would be served concurrently with his prior sentence. In the summer of 2014, the rapper was released under the conditions that the remainder of his sentence be served in a halfway house.
Yeah, it was a couple records. I don't really...
Fetty Wap so far has served 2 years for trafficking 100+ kilograms of narcotics. Fetty's pandemic-era finances allegedly pushed him into a coast-to-coast drug ring. A revoked bond and a guilty plea netted him 6 years in prison. Grizzley served 840 days for home invasions and Kentucky robbery. He was a student at Michigan State University when he went on a robbing spree with one of his associates. Then later, a botched Kentucky smash and grab stacked to 18 months to 15 years. He served just over 2 before exploding with First Day Out.
These niggas prayed on my down.
Old Dirty Bastard served 860 days for narcotics possession, traffic violations, fleeing rehab, and fugitive violations. ODB's late 90s spiral climaxed with him absconding from court-ordered rehab, which he later popped up at a Wu-Tang show, then getting captured days later at a McDonald's. A 2 to 4 year term followed.
You are sucked.
Drakeo The Ruler served 979 days for first-degree murder and attempted murder. Though found not guilty in 2019, prosecutors refiled lesser gang-related counts. Drakeo cut a plea in 2020, claiming innocence but walking free after nearly 3 years.
Drakeo The Ruler, fresh out.
Oh, yeah.
How you feeling?
I don't know how I feel right now.
Gucci Mane served 985 days for possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Gucci Mane was taken into custody for erratic behavior, carrying a firearm, possession of marijuana, and disorderly conduct. As a felon who was caught with a gun, Gucci was in big trouble but agreed to a plea deal that still landed him nearly 3 years. He emerged slimmer, sober, and ready for a career renaissance. YNW Melly so far has served 6 years for first-degree murder. Prosecutors say Melly shot childhood friends YNW Sack Chaser and YNW Juvie, staging a drive-by. A 2023 mistrial set up a retrial, scheduled for September 10, 2025, while he remains jailed without bond. Fat Trel served 1,195 days for illegal possession of a firearm by a previously convicted felon. A traffic stop uncovered an untraceable firearm and a suspended license. His 30-month sentence, with time served, released him in 2021, though he's since had further run-ins.
It's all love regardless, man. It is what it is, but
Prodigy served 1,246 days for felony weapon possession. An illegal U-turn in 2006 led police to searching his vehicle and find another gun. He already had gun charges in the past from 2003. Locked up, the Mobb Deep legend wrote an autobiography and endless rhymes before returning to Queensbridge lore. 03, Greedo served 1,659 days for drug trafficking and possession of a firearm.
I actually did time for someone else. I was a passenger in a car. What are you talking about?
4 pounds of meth and 2 pilfered firearms equaled a 20-year sentence with parole potential. Good behavior got Greedo out in just over 4, and right back in the studio. Pimp C served 1,445 days for probation violation related to an aggravated assault charge. Flashing a gun during a mall dispute landed Pimp C probation. Skipping community service sent him to prison in 2002, birthing the Free Pimp C campaign movement and protest of the hip-hop community led by Bun B.
You had Bun B that really spearheaded this whole movement, and and Jay-Z was supportive while I've been gone.
Boosie BadAzz served 1,577 days for marijuana possession, parole breach, and smuggling drugs into jail. Boosie was busted in 2009 on his 3rd weed possession charge, which landed him with a 2-year bid. The judge then doubled the sentence when Boosie violated his probation. Everything was doubled again when he pleaded guilty for trying to have drugs smuggled into his prison cell. This while he was fighting a murder rap after being accused of the 2009 killing of another local rapper. He stared down the death penalty and won the case, and celebrated with his release in 2014 after 5 years behind bars.
Yeah, my mom was out there. My brother was out there.
Tay-K so far has served 8 years for murder and aggravated robbery. Tay-K was arrested and charged with a group of people in a botched robbery in July of 2016 that left one dead. While under house arrest, Tay-K broke off his ankle monitor and did the race, resulting in the inception of the multi-platinum selling song. After he was apprehended, he was charged with another murder as police believed that he killed a photographer in an attempt to steal his photography equipment. He was sentenced to 55 years, then another 80, concurrent, after a second murder trial wrapped in April 2025.